Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network hot take. If you haven't seen this show, a hot take is when we sit in a basement, give our thoughts, give our opinion on a video game, a TV show, or a movie. Today, it's going to be a video game. I almost said movie. A video game. And that video game is Gears 5. Of course, to discuss, my co-host, Chris Trio. I'm Anthony Rigucci.
How are you, Gooch?
I'm good.
I am too. I'm
doing well.
I'm really excited to talk
You're
to
hot.
Gears. Yeah, I mean, that's how it is. When am I not?
Yeah, true.
So, let's just move on. You'll get to see my glistening face if you're watching the video, but if not, you'll hear my sweaty voice. So...
Your moist voice.
That's not a good... Don't say that again. Anyways.
I don't those two words were not
I did not
designed
realize that they rhymed until now.
in the same
and
sentence.
that's not good.
No. I don't think I've ever said those two words in the same sentence in my life.
I don't think I have either.
This is
and
the
now that
first.
I've heard them,
This is the first
it's
on
disgusting.
Delco Network.
So,
this is the
yeah.
first.
But Gears.
Gears fucking 5.
Dude. This
Holy
game,
shit.
what really put it in perspective for me was playing Gears 4, so recently, I feel like.
Right.
Where I was I played that and I was like, man, this is slow. Not a lot goes on.
And
we're just going to pick up someone from a location every time.
And all I could talk about while we were playing through on co-op was, yeah, dude, this just isn't good. There's nothing.
It's not even not
redeemable
good. It's
about
just
Gears 4 campaign.
It's just
so
meh.
bland.
It's just exactly bland is the perfect word.
And Gears 5 is the exact opposite.
I agree.
Of that.
I totally agree.
They I don't want to start off by talking about the campaign, but I guess overall thoughts.
Yeah.
Before diving in deep, because what I want to do is we'll probably talk about Versus, Escape, and Horde, and then we'll talk about campaign, because that's where the majority of the discussion is going to lie.
For sure.
But, just general thoughts, Gears 5's campaign does so much that it just didn't need to do.
It didn't, yeah.
And, just totally, narrative-wise, blows Gears 4 out of the water, is probably the best Gears campaign there's been so far.
I can't say
I think
no,
its
no.
writing is just...
It's good.
Far superior than Gears has ever been, ever.
And I do think it really harkens back to those first three in the way of, I really loved the banter going on between the squad mates. I really loved all the squad for the most part. Even Del and Kate were kind of bland, like you said, in the first one. You didn't really get a ton, I feel like, with them. There were still some parts where I remember replaying through, they made me chuckle. But 5 really does a good job of kind of making the team whole and making you care about them, I feel.
Right, because after we're coming off of a team like Dom and Marcus and Cole and Baird and the other
Delta,
characters, Clay, the Carmines, and you cared about that whole squad the way through.
Sure.
So Gears 4's position was, hey, you know who JD is, and you know he's the son of Anya and Marcus. Now how do we make you care about these other brand new characters? You care about JD because lineage. But, you don't care about anyone else.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Gears 4. Besides Marcus, he's the only returning character for the majority of the game.
Yep.
And, you're just with new people. But also the plot in Gears 4 is very just you're going to rescue Reyna. That's the entire plot of the game.
Also you get
from
to
Act 1 to
rescue
Act 5.
Marcus for a little bit, too. But that's it. Yeah, it really... And, in this, I really think they do a good job of giving you story beats to care about. And I said this to you, I was like, this explores things in a way that a Halo couldn't do. In the way of you're seeing these past wars and how they've affected the COG up until now and how the COG was before even Emergence Day and all that stuff.
Yeah, and so I feel like a lot of series don't do this. Metal Gear is a series where I think it does, where it respectfully calls back on itself. It's not a nostalgia thing.
Sure.
It just understands its world and how to talk about it
and how to fill you in
and not be there's a part in Act 2 where the stranded village is inside the Riftworm's corpse from Gears 2.
Awesome
and
callback.
it's not like oh yeah
Marcus
I'm Marcus. I remember when we killed that Riftworm.
Remember when we cut its 5 parts open? It's so true.
They're not overt about it.
I agree.
They barely even touch on the fact that hey, this Riftworm, these bones, this is the Riftworm from Gears 2.
That you fuck yeah.
Yeah,
why did I think that was 3? Sorry.
No, it's 2.
Oh.
But it's not overt about it, and collectibles are the same way. But we'll talk more about it as we touch in the campaign because I really want to look at that deep dive. But we like the campaign. Fucking love the campaign.
100%.
Then we have Versus, which obviously we've had before, Horde, which we've had before, and the new Escape mode. So let's talk about Escape first.
Okay, yeah. Because that's the only one I really played multiplayer-wise, I'm not gonna lie.
I think Escape is cool. I think it's not as team-oriented as... One thing in Gears 4 did wrong was Horde was so... I don't want to say elite, but I feel like I have to. That, like, you really couldn't just go in with 2 people and expect to, like, do a 1 through 50 or be fine. Mm-hmm. Like, you needed a full squad. And, Escape and Horde kind of both, like, I can jump in and jump out with a team and be fine.
Sure. It's not
Horde
as tactic heavy.
Escape and Horde, it is tactic heavy, but, like, it's a lot friendlier to, like, casual play.
I get what you mean.
Like, I can jump in and out and level my character, and I don't need to do a 1 through 50.
Have you been playing that with a lot of random people?
I haven't really. Yeah. Like, same with Escape. Like, I just jump in solo and play with 2 other people, and we're fine. It's not, like, that hard where, like, fuck, I really need to bring in the boys for this one, or I really need to get the squad together.
I was going to start chewing ice, but that's not a good idea on a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and like Escape is essentially you play as characters who are like hive busters. You get taken by a snatcher on purpose, and you're taken into the hive. You escape out, and you pretty much you go in with like a pistol, and that's it. And you have to work your way out of the hive, and you blow it up.
Yeah,
it's a cool game.
No, it is. I played it like twice. I think I wish I played more of the multiplayer stuff a little bit more. I was really kind of focused in on the campaign.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's
I did it from what we played. I really enjoyed it. And I think it's like an extra little flavor on there.
And, you know, each difficulty does different... There's a lot of difficulties. It's not just 4, which I think is good because it paces out its difficulty a little better. You can, like, edge your way up a little bit. And depending on, like, what enemy types are on the map, I was looking at, like, the difficulties for... a hive from last week and this week, and like different things were affected. Like this one from this week had sires, so at a certain difficulty point it talked about like, oh, the sires like go stealth like when they're 10 meters or closer.
Whoa.
So like that was one of the difficulty spikes. It's not just
like
they're harder
like the hunters do in the campaign.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool.
I'm like, that's cool, that's interesting. And Horde kind of works the same way, except it's a little more
I didn't get the chance to play Horde yet.
Horde is like, again, I would just say like jump in and like play a few rounds, and then when you want to leave, you can, and an AI takes your spot, and somebody else can jump in.
That is pretty sweet.
So in Gears 4, it was just like, yo, like if you were grouping up with randoms, somebody left, and once that happened, everyone left.
Yeah, it's just continued. Yeah,
but now it's an AI takes its place.
We have another person.
That's not exactly good, but at least someone's there.
It's better, yeah.
And then somebody can just hop in, and you can hop in. Like I was hopping in on wave 35 and just doing 35 to 50.
That's
pretty
cool.
Getting the completion bonus, and
that's
I was
really
like,
dope.
This is way better than it was before.
Lots of quality of life improvements.
All I did this summer was play Horde and Gears 4, so I really have like a decent grasp on how annoying Horde was in Gears 4. I met a lot of people playing Horde, like to get all the achievements and stuff, but like. I had to resort to like literally like finding people to play with. Like, I couldn't just jump into the matchmaking and expect to do a 1 to 50 on insane.
Like no big deal.
Especially on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, especially that makes sense.
So Escape and Horde are both class based, so each character has a certain abilities, kind of like Overwatch. Kate's ult is stealth. Faz's ult is an X-ray vision that you can see everyone on the map because he's a sniper. Each character has their different abilities.
Almost kind of like the Jack abilities from the campaign, in a way.
Yeah, and you can use Jack in Horde, too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't know he was in campaign. I knew he was in Horde.
Jack, what a G. Sorry, continue.
But yeah, it's cool. So, but like one thing was like, if I'm Kate, you can't play Kate.
Makes sense.
Like you have to play someone
because there's certain...
And as they're going on, they're going to add more people, which I will get into Versus a little more. I think the game is a little lackluster on skins and stuff, but even this week they've added more stuff, and it's like this stuff is what they really were like, okay, like we're not going to focus on this because there's no pass.
Sure.
There's probably not going to be a campaign DLC.
Yeah.
We're going to add onto the game through, characters and skins and executions and banners and all that shit.
Makes sense.
Because the Tour of Duty thing is kind of like your pass in a way.
Yeah.
There's dailies and stuff you can do, and as you move up through the ranks, you get rewards, and that's the progression system there. But Versus is what you expect.
I was going to say, how is multiplayer? Basically, there's obviously quality of life improvements and all that stuff.
With quick play.
Yeah.
So it used to be social, now it's quick play, jump in, jump out, games just roll on, it's not ranked.
Okay. That makes sense.
You don't, nothing happens if you leave. And then there's the arcade game mode, which is, again, class-based. Each character, each skin, between, like, Grenadier, Sniper, Drone, Imago, the Naked Dudes, all of them have different loadouts, and if you get kills and executions and assists, you get points to buy new weapons on their loadout. So, like, okay, the Imago is shock grenades, the Lancer GL, and the boom shot. So if you get 7 points, you can buy the boom shot.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I actually like it. And then there's like quick play Guardian, Team Deathmatch, Dodgeball. And then Escalation has really changed. I don't really play Escalation much. It's the competitive game mode.
I was going to say, like, is that like objective based at
like
all? Or is it like...
It's like King of the Hill, but like no weapons are on the map at the start. And as you play each round, the MVP of each team places weapons on the map.
Okay.
And it's really competitive. I don't like it that much. It's alright. Gears 4 kind of...
If it's your cup of tea, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, but like, you got King of the Hill, Team Deathmatch.
Yeah.
Versus really hasn't changed. I think, like you said, there's a lot of quality of life stuff that makes the game better. But there's not a lot of character skins. Like, there's no Carmines. Not even Lindsay or Clay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, clearly, no Bear, no Cole. I'm like, clearly they're going to add these
people in.
in.
Yeah.
It's pretty much... everyone plus Marcus and Foz, and like they added like the Batista skin that's out,
and that's just a skin for Marcus, right?
Yeah. Like, and they've added like there's skins that carried over from Gears 4. Like JD has a few skins, and Kid has a few skins, but I'm just like, okay, clearly this is the lacking, but clearly they're gonna add. So I don't think it's a negative necessarily.
You see a place where they can build from with it.
It's just like clearly this is where
this is the starting point.
Like what they're going to be developing over time for this game.
It's
going to be in the multiplayer and the skins and who's in the game and like, oh, if we add characters, we have to really add them
new abilities,
a horde component, and not necessarily escape, because not all the the Halo characters and Sarah Connor are part of escape, but they're not part of
Versus.
Oh no, they are part of horde. But, like, Marcus isn't an escape. Dell isn't an escape. Like, only those 3 starting characters are, and then those promotional characters they added. And they'll probably do the same thing, like, maybe Clay won't be in escape. Like, it's clearly, like, they have to balance it somehow.
Yeah.
And not make it OP, and then... That's kind of the interesting part of it. It's, like, how they're gonna, like, keep adding people in, and or is, like, somebody gonna take Marcus's skill set, but you can...
it's just a different skin. Yeah, I don't know. You'd assume that they'd create a whole new loadout, but then again,
how many times are you gonna do that?
And create like an entire new
and then like
skill
you release one character who's OP and it breaks everything.
Exactly.
Like, that's kind of like the thing with Overwatch to a degree, because they're constantly adding characters, but it's really one at a time. Like I'm just curious how they're gonna do that. But
they'd have to like test them out.
It's Gears. Right? Yeah. If you played this series before, you know what to expect. Again, it's just quality of life. I feel like the game is just like better.
There's some tighter gameplay going on. I like we'll get more into it, I guess, with the campaign. But like reticles have changed. There are certain things just about guns that they feel a bit differently that I think work very well. I haven't obviously played the multiplayer enough to see how that really affects that.
Like the Boltok is, I think, one of the guns that had a big shift from Gears 4. Like, the recoil was, like, non-existent in Gears 5. But in Gears 4, like, the recoil was nuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I first played the beta, like, I was like, fuck. I was like, this is something I gotta get used to. But
the Boltok was one of my favorite weapons to use throughout the whole entire campaign.
The Lancer is tighter, and there are some new weapons, like the Lancer, grenade launcher, the GL, the Claw. There's not too many new weapons, but... I think the arsenal is already tight to begin with.
I agree.
It's not like I'm like, I'm using
They threw in some things that was the Talon? Was that
Talon
new?
is new as well.
I didn't use that much.
But that was like the Gorgon from Gears 2 and 3.
Okay.
Remember? So like in Gears 2 it was fully automatic, and then in Gears 3 it was burst, and then they just took it away. But now the Talon's back and it's fully automatic, just like the Gorgon was.
Awesome. But multiplayer sounds pretty good. I mean, it sounds Gears, which isn't a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've talked about this before. I didn't realize how big of a following that gameplay and that multiplayer has, and I mean, it seems like they just tightened it up and made it even better. So
Right.
that's cool to hear. Campaign?
All
right.
So, I just want to stress on campaign about how different each act really feels. And and as soon as you jump into the game with Act 1, Chapter 1, you're in Azura, and you're doing like a secret mission. And we won't talk, we're not going to go through the whole game.
Yeah.
But like, Chapter 1, you're in Azura, in a location from Gears 1. Then, you're already in familiar places, and like, they're not overt about it. Like,
I think
Azura, we're back.
Act 1 definitely feels the closest to 4, not in a bad way, but like in the way that
Closest
doesn't...
to, like, Act 1 and 4 are very typical Gears, and 2 and 3 are not.
Totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Act 1's probably the slowest for me. Would you agree, or would you...
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But no, again...
It's a little long.
Again,
Act 1 is pretty long.
Yeah.
I mean, Act 2 and 3 are also pretty long.
Yeah.
Act 4 is very quick.
Yeah, 3 I felt was really long.
Yeah.
And well, that's also for another reason that I'll get into.
Yeah, I do want to touch on that.
Yeah.
About bugs and stuff.
Yeah.
But then Act 2, you're back in New Ephyra. Just walking cutscenes. Act 3, you're fighting in New Ephyra. Or Chapter 3, sorry. Mm-hmm. Chapter 3, you're fighting in New Ephyra. And then Chapter 4, you're fighting in New Ephyra again, but now, like, it's like more cities are on buildings are on fire, it's darker. There's like a different tone through each chapter.
Different atmosphere, yeah.
Yeah, like right off the bat. And Act 2 and 3 are the open world acts. Open world in Gears game, you may ask? Yeah. There's 2 open world acts, and it's linear open world.
Yeah.
I love linear open world
No,
stuff.
I think it works, especially like when a game does it right, it's awesome. And I do think that the way it opens up in the second act is very welcoming, and I like the idea of... So you get into the second act, you get your skiff, you get to kind of go around this open location.
Well,
and
the first chapter is you're going through the outsider village.
Yeah, which was really... So we were talking with the Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, I forgot about that.
What?
I was going to say with seeing all the Were they URI people in the desert?
Yes.
They are?
Yes.
Okay, that was really cool to see. Like, seeing a completely... Like, the snow was awesome, I like that. But going to this, like, really kind of alien-looking, almost, like, totally different landscape was very cool.
Let's talk about it when we get to Act 3. Because I want to talk... Like, Act 1 is pretty basic Gears stuff.
For sure.
Like, we get introduced to the flock, thank you. Yeah. The flock, which we kind of get teased about the flock leeches being able to control DBs, and we get the rejects, which are basically enemy DBs being controlled by the swarm and stumps.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty much the new enemies.
Yeah,
those 3 right there.
Yep.
Besides, like the hunter is a new variant of the swarm, but it's just a torso.
Was the warden in the last one?
No.
So he is a new one.
Yeah, the warden is a new one as well.
Okay.
So Act 2, starts out in the outsider village, which is in the Riftworm thing, and there's the Ben Carmine's helmet is like just sitting in the village, because like he dies in the Riftworm. It's like, oh shit,
that is funny.
Yeah, and like all the collectibles are like giving you very much like insight on the lore.
Yeah,
but also in this chapter of Act 2, you're getting the like, I like the scene where like the little kid is calling you a fascist, because like I think this is the first game where like the COG government, the COG civilization is a socialist government.
Yeah.
They don't really, like, talk about it, but, like, it is.
Yeah, no, it's... Very,
I mean, mind you, there's not been much civilization to really look at in the Gears game.
Yeah.
But this is the first Gears game where we really see...
The politics, almost. Or
not
even politics,
but, like, what civilization on Sarah looked like.
Even before, like, the EE day, yeah.
We don't see that.
We're back in in, like, Gears 1 through 3, I feel like...
Yeah, but there is none. Yeah,
exactly.
They're just remnants.
Yeah, they're just... And we just are... Obviously, the whole... Jeez, what were they before? Locust. The whole thing was about you're against the Locust, and all the other stuff was very background noise, but the way that they kind of brought in the greater history of Sarah into this game and made it feed into the game was cool. And I agree. Like, how they come in, the kids calling you a fascist, and, like, everyone's afraid of the Gears. Like, no one likes them in that outsider village.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting point of view.
And the outsiders are just, like, the Stranded. So the Stranded in Gears 1 through 3 are just the people who weren't with the COG and just living on their own.
Yeah.
Like, and then the Stranded evolved into the Outsiders.
And Kate was an outsider, correct?
Yeah. So, like, Jin says, which was interesting, she was a stranded before she was a cog. Like, part of the cog. She was born stranded.
One thing that I feel like kind of annoyed me with these two games, and annoyed is a harsh word, but, like, I just didn't really understand, was
Jin?
how they... was Jin, and, like, how just overtly evil they make her, just to... I feel like almost for evil's sake.
I agree.
Yeah. I don't... Like, in this... I don't know, like, when she walks in... Well, I don't want to get into that. There's just some parts where I'm like, I feel like you're just trying to make her look like a jerk to be the jerk. But I don't know. Especially in the first one. Or in the fourth one, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, she kind of is. But then also, for the first time in the Gears series, there is, like, conflict within the squad. And that as soon as you get back from Azura and that mission, like, you see the hostility between JD and Kate, which is really interesting. Like JD, pretty much Kate being closer to Marcus than JD is, and he like comments on it, and like, you know, like off the bat, you see this, like, they're not, I don't even know if they're in a relationship. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be, but they're not overt about it. Yeah, they definitely are in a relationship.
Because did they grow up to, like, how did they, I don't remember the exact backstory.
They don't tell you.
They really don't?
No.
Okay.
They JD and Del left the cog, and
then, yeah, they somehow linked up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I'm pretty sure they're in a relationship, but like, it's not, again, they just don't.
They don't really tell you, which is fine. Honestly, I don't need a love story every time.
No, no. It's not about that at all.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like later in Act 2, like even like Kate getting upset with Del for like really no reason. Because like she thinks JD sent her with him, or sent him with her for like some reason. Like, what did JD say to you?
Yeah,
like
after when they start going off. Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to that part. We definitely got to talk about that. But yeah, like they're at each other's throats. Like, but like that never happens with Marcus and Dom, and like that.
They're all very much a unit.
Yeah, and like with this, they're very much not.
They do a really good job of breaking them down in this game and building them back up in a lot of ways, and
especially JD.
I agree,
because like when they're in Act 2, when you're on the skiff, there's a lot of dialogue in between locations, and Del and Kate are really like talking about like JD and how much he's changed, and he got, you know, ever since the incident. Yeah. So in Act 1, where he gets like scarred and the hammer, you know, he uses himself as a Hammer of Dawn target and gets some people killed, but also like injures himself. And I
thought that was the like whatever thing he's wearing on his arm was dope. I really I got it like a lot.
It wasn't just scarred. Like
no,
he had, like,
he had like some type of sleeve on it that he would press a button and it would, I guess, alleviate the pain or something. But a lot of the technology that they've built upon in these games, I really, really dig. And even, like, the mech suits that we see at the end of 4, and, like, it's like, yeah, if they're so advanced, why aren't we making some insane types of machinery to help us? And I guess this was even before they thought the Swarm or Locust or whatever was coming back.
Yeah, and like going back to JD, yeah, like JD gets ranked up. He's now like a poster boy of Jin's. He and Foz are close, and they didn't like Foz before, who I love.
By the end,
Foz is like, again, like there are no douchebag characters in the squad, and Foz feels like I'm the douchebag character role. Yeah, but he does it really well, and then you kind of like him.
Again, they make you like, oh, who's this jerk off? But then by the end, you're like, Foz, fuck yeah, Foz, he's a shit.
Yeah. I really like Foz. He's played by Raul Cooley, who is from iZombie, for anyone who knows that show.
Was he on like Kind of Funny and stuff?
Before?
Yeah.
That's he does a lot of stuff with Funhouse.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes,
I
he's
thought
definitely
I recognized
like involved
the voice
in the gaming industry in a weird way. But it was cool to see him kind of like take that role.
And seeing him as like, he's a Vesgari, right?
Yes.
So like pulling all that in and seeing like, hearing about his parents and how he's like, oh no, we moved here and they joined the COG or something right after the war ended. It's cool. I really do think they did a fucking amazing job of filling in these little things that I didn't know I would care about.
Yeah.
But now I do.
And in Act 2, we go back to New Hope, which is a location from Gears 2, which they're a little overt about because it's kind of important. That, it's like, hey, you've been here and you know who Niall
missed that.
You know who Niall Sampson is if you
I need to replay Gears 2.
And then Marcus being like, oh yeah, there should be a door. Oh no, wait, I blew it up.
No, that's my favorite thing. Yeah, Del's like, dude, it's exploded. It's like blown up. He's like, oh yeah, I did that. Yeah, just go down the hallway. Like, it is good.
And like the locations really parallel with the original. Like I found a video on YouTube that was kind of like, oh, like here's the front door, here's this courtyard. Oh, cool. Like this is dope because like I don't really remember that building that well.
Sure.
But like when I heard New Hope, I was like, I know what this is.
Yeah.
And then Act 2, the revelation, which I think is like I thought the game was good, but we hit that point and I was like, fuck. Holy shit.
So, obvious spoilers
Yeah.
here. Did we know that they created the Locust?
No.
We did not know that.
We did not know that Niall Sampson. It definitely seemed like he was doing emulsion experiments at New Hope.
Yeah.
Like New Hope is the predecessor to that facility where he like finds out like emulsion is doing something to people. It's not just making them sick. Like it's
altering
like,
them.
It's altering them genetically. And I guess those tests escalate to where like that facility is because like it's pretty old because like all the cogs down there have retro lancers.
Yeah.
So like the Locust War hadn't started yet, and I don't think it's really like clear like okay like when did this facility actually cease to function? When did the Locust escape from that facility?
Yeah.
And you find out like oh Mira was this rust lung. No, she didn't have rust lung.
I thought she had an immunity to it.
Yeah.
Was that it?
She was the daughter of one of the scientists there. And
I thought
that was Raina.
Yeah,
sorry.
Mira.
So I think Mira is just a girl who
had an immunity to emulsion, right?
No, she had rust lung, and yes, they found out through testing that she had this weird immunity to it.
Yeah.
And she eventually became the queen. So the Locust and the Swarm need a queen to function.
Yeah, they kind of talk about
It's a
that in the way
hive
of like,
mind.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I really like how they really kind of drive that point home after they get their queen, and like you see them.
Well,
really
they had Raina.
Well, I guess,
and it wasn't super obvious in Gears 4, but like they
basically were
knew to
copying
look for
her essence almost, like, or even like, so when you find her all tied up in the fourth one, and she's like connected in weird ways, like, what do you think they were doing there? Do you think they were?
I mean, I think they were gonna like transform her, but like I feel like they also like had enough. Not I want to say like physiological data to like.
No, I get what you mean.
her.
Like basically, they had a almost copy of her consciousness in some ways. Yeah, no, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Because so Kate goes there to break her connection to the hive mind, right?
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah, she finds out her mom is the daughter of Mira and a scientist, and the reason Raina wasn't down there is because the scientist's father felt bad and like ran away with her and was like, "Fuck this! Like you're getting out of here."
Yeah.
And like, but Raina like kind of grew up in that facility, and they were doing tests on her, and Kate got passed down those genes. We still don't know who her father is, but I don't think it's necessarily important. I think he was in the cog. They mentioned.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's a very key piece of information.
The Locusts were created like they're essentially like more evolved form of humans, like adapted to survivability.
Yeah,
essentially, and the fact that they literally can't die. So like when the Locusts die, they went into a hibernation state to evolve into the swarm.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It
like,
is. No, it's a cool idea.
They literally cannot be killed.
And I love the whole thing with Niles where he's like, they will live on forever. I really loved his like
they're the perfect specimen.
Yeah. And they will always be here once you guys are long and gone. And like, what was his? I can't remember, or it's just because he's a crazy fuck. What was his reasoning for creating the Locust? It's just because he wanted to create a creation. Basically.
Obsessed with perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kind of like, I mean, like in Alien, it's kind of like that too.
That's true.
Like in Prometheus and Covenant, and even the first thing.
Trying to create the perfect
the
being.
android being obsessed with the perfection he sees within the alien.
Yeah.
Is kind of like what drives him to do what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, but bringing back a character from Gears 2 like Niles, who like, oh, like we saw the sires, so the halfway point between human and Locust was the sires.
Wow.
And like, and you're just like, wow. This I'm interested like where
it's
they
good
were
connections.
like, we should like take that story beat and really like play
like
with
let's
it
let's
like
expand
there was
upon
something
it.
there. Like there's not a lot there right now.
So
but we
in
can
the
make
second
it
one was
something else.
was it just put forth as basically he was just making hybrids?
Yeah, I mean,
so
at New Hope he found a way to like make these like half botched things, which were the sires, which was the like essentially like humans like evolving like halfway but not being
fully
I guess they had to be like I want to say gestated and like nurtured to like fully evolve.
Makes sense.
Because I guess that's literally what the Swarm do when they turn like humans into juvies and then they evolve into drones and stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, like they need a way to gestate. They can't just fucking like, you know.
Yeah.
So he kind of like procreates them in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And the matriarch is essentially the female. And that's how they all spawn. Because like in the first one, the locusts were the berserkers are the female locusts.
Yeah.
So like they must have been fucking down underground, just like procreating, and I guess they grow really fast.
Do they? I guess it's a
Did they talk
question.
about it?
No, are they like asexual? Like do the?
I think all the drones and like boomers are male.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the berserkers they say are like specifically female.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought it was a very cool reveal. I mean, the thing with Reyna being the granddaughter of her, I didn't think caught me by surprise too much. Obviously,
very
just
obvious.
because
we all knew. With
the
medallion,
there's a connection there of some kind.
Mira is somehow related to Kate, which wasn't a huge surprise. We kind of knew that, but like the revelation of like where the locust came from.
But again, just showing you in this game, we're only halfway through the game, and they give us that big revelation, which I was like, oh fuck yeah. Let's keep going.
And Kate's kind of like personal struggle not comes to an end, but like she's not having the visions. Like she wasn't
having the headaches or anything. Yeah.
The one part I think was awesome was when at the end of Act 2, Chapter 1. I keep getting everything mixed up.
It's alright.
When Kate gets taken by the Snatcher, and she controls some of the Swarm, and she kills Oscar.
Well, but is it that she was just basically along for the ride?
Like she was controlling them, but I don't think she really knew it.
Yeah.
And like she kills Oscar.
Yeah, and I thought that was gonna wrap around again in some ways. Yeah.
Fuck Oscar.
He seemed like a completely different character to me this game.
He had a different voice actor.
Is that because like I didn't even? You're like, oh, you see Oscar? I'm like, what, the uncle? And you're like, yeah, remember from the first game? I'm like, that was Oscar? Just because like he wasn't acting like a complete dickhead. I don't know.
No. He's dead. He's gone. It's alright.
Bye, Oscar. But no, I really did think that was an interesting revelation. I thought that whole just act of getting that together, getting the stuff to get through the ice to get down the facility.
And like how she like turns on really Del, because Del's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, she's...
And then she looks at...
The queen of the Swarm? Or, like, we don't know Reyna's alive at this point.
Yeah.
But, like, we do find out at the end she is.
Yeah, and even, like... So, I don't think... That's not literally her, obviously.
No, I think it's just,
so, like, it seems like...
Like her consciousness being, like, portrayed.
Because,
like, Mira... It was Mira. Like, Mira was Mira.
Yeah.
She was a human.
Yeah.
Like, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, whatever Reyna is not human.
It's this weird amalgamation of... Man, she's... disgusting.
Yeah.
But, she definitely looks like what the queen would probably look like of the Swarm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I thought just overall I wasn't bored at all too. Like during the, I really thought it kept me going for the most part, which I really appreciated.
Even though like you were going to location, doing a lot of side stuff, upgrading Jack, which we haven't talked.
Oh yeah, we'll get into.
We haven't talked about yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very cool.
Yeah.
I guess we can wait for the end to talk about that.
Yeah.
As we go back over things.
Sure.
And then, so, Act 2, you go... Well, Act 1 and 4 are, like, normal attire. 2 is the snow clothing. 3 is the desert, and the more, like, the less clothing. And, like, one thing games don't do is, like, characters changing clothes often.
Especially in a more linear game.
And, like, it's really cool to see the main cast, like, swap clothes, like, somewhat often.
Sure.
It's not, like, they get to this certain point and they change clothes, but, like, they're like that for the rest of the game.
It's for sure, like, in Gears 1 through 3, or even 4, they're in the same clothes the entire time. In
Gears 4, they go from just wearing out, like, regular clothes to the armor.
Sure. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But, again, one transformation.
And it's, like, obviously you still have that base cog armor there, but they are... You wouldn't wear as much because you're in a fucking desert, or you're gonna pile on because you're in the goddamn Arctic.
So they've never really talked about the UIR's territories, like what they look like, too much. Like, we knew the UIR was like
was a thing,
a faction that they fought in the Pendulum Wars, and they're kind of
United
based
Independent Republics.
Yes,
is that it?
Yeah. So they're based off Russia and the Soviet Union. Even though the COG is also fascists.
Well, Russia's.
The Soviet Union. Do they all speak in Russian accents?
No, I know. But I guess technicalities. So they were socialism, not fascists, right? Because fascism's... I might be... isn't like fascism...
I mean, like a socialist...
Can you be socialist and fascistic?
Fascistic?
Fascistic? Yeah.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because like Italy in World War II, where they were fascists.
Yeah.
But they weren't socialist.
Yeah.
But they're like kind of in the same. That would be,
I thought
that would be on the right.
Yeah, because then socialism is all on the left. So I thought we're getting into semantics here. Forget it. I'm sorry about that.
They're cut from the same cloth. They're not exactly the same.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get reports like going through Act 3, going through all these plants and stuff, and like you're kind of figuring out like what the UIR were up to in
the final days,
Vasgar, but also like the final days
of the Pendulum Wars.
Yes, we see Paddock again, who's from Judgment.
So he was in Judgment. I never. Yes. Interesting.
So
that's a cool little.
He's a gear in that.
That's pretty dope.
I forget exactly why it becomes a gear. I think he's just arrested and forced to fight at that point.
Oh, gotcha.
The Locust War, dude, we need everyone we can.
So in Judgment, were the Locusts around in that game?
Yes.
So that was after
the start of E-Day.
Okay, all right.
Bear's a lieutenant at that point, and he gets demoted to a private. He basically goes AWOL. I forget exactly what they do, but it's Cole, Bear, Paddock, and another character named Sophia.
That's free on game on whatever. Do you think it's worth even going back and
it might be worth going through the campaign.
Just the campaign
if you really cared.
Maybe
the story is kind of like whatever, but like I think like, hey, do I need to play the other Gears games to play Gears 5? Yeah. Would I have said that about 4? No, but I'm saying it about 5. Every other game really comes into play in Gears 5, even Judgment.
I'd agree, but even that, like, I don't know. I think you could kind of jump it, even like without 4. Like 4, I think you could pretty easily kind of jump in here, get the gist. I think they fill you in pretty well, is I guess what I'm saying
but
about what's going on.
In 4, I'm just like, there's no connection to the other Gears games other than Marcus and those characters. In 5, there's a lot of world stuff going on that like you just won't have the context for if you don't play those other games. That's kind of like where I go to MGS5. Like, sure, you can play it without playing the other Metal Gear games, but if you do know those other games, your context,
you're just getting so much more out of it for sure.
Yeah.
Like even
and that's
that makes sense.
That's just I'm not elitist. I'm that guy. Like you should try to get the best experience out of the game you can.
For sure.
That's
and even
how
like
I think how you can do that.
The only reason I'd say against this because like I don't remember the first 3 too terribly much. I'm not gonna lie. Like even like you were saying like, oh dude, we went to New Hope. I'm like, what's New Hope? And that's not even against Gears. Yeah. It's just been so long is the thing.
Yeah, like I played Gears 1, like the Ultimate Edition recently.
Yeah.
But like I haven't played Gears 2 and like even thinking about 3, I remember the beats of 3, but like I really don't remember 3.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
For sure. I mean, geez.
I would love to see them remaster 2 and 3, put them in a collection and just put them out. No multiplayer, just remaster.
I could see that like next gen. For sure.
Yeah, because I mean, the Coalition started off with remastering Gears 1, and then they did Gears 4.
Yep.
That was their once Epic sold or stepped away, Black Tusk became the Coalition, and then they made Ultimate Edition, which was awesome.
And I do think they really put their stamp on it with this one. Like this is a fresh at least story wise for sure. And getting into Act 3, can we get into yeah. So, like you said, we're kind of exploring all these old URI facilities and all that stuff, and getting that context is awesome.
It's like Last Jedi.
It's Crate, and I will fight you after this. No, but yeah, no, I thought that was really cool. Just that whole aesthetic was really awesome, and just kind of dealing with all these different Paddock. I really ended up liking by the end, not even knowing that he was in anything before.
Yeah.
They give you some context. Like I said, that you're not necessarily asking for, but that is very welcoming.
To the UIR.
Yeah.
Like, the faction that Paddock was a part of was like, yo, like, we're not giving into the COG. Like, we're going to fight you. We're gonna splinter off and fight you guys.
So, yeah, by the end of the war, apparently, like, COG launches the Hammer of Dawn first, right? Was what happened.
No, they get the Hammer of Dawn, but they fire light mass missiles at them.
Is in Gears 4, is that first mission that you go through to get the Hammer of Dawn? Am I remembering that correctly?
That's Gears 5.
It is Gears 5?
When
you play as the 2 Gears?
Oh, no. Yes, in 4. Yeah,
okay.
You play in the Pendulum Wars, and you're getting the Hammer of Dawn plans.
Yeah. Okay, I was just
second mission is E-Day, and you're in Afira.
That's right. I did. That was a part of Gears Gears 4 that I did enjoy.
Was cool.
Yeah.
I think it needed
more of that.
Yeah. Gears 5, not so much.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, there's just some fill-in stuff, like, so they launched the light mass bomb, you're discovering all these reports of, like, their chairman or whatever saying, like, we're surrendering to the COG, and Paddock apparently was like, fuck you.
Not being about that.
He's like, they launched on us, we launch right back. That's how it works. Like,
Yeah.
return, basically mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
Like,
Also known as MAD.
yep. Wow, that's crazy.
History. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then you see, like, not only were the UIR, like a really different nation, but, like, you see they have this, like, focus in like, space flight. And, I mean, like, also playing off the Soviet Union and Russia.
Yeah,
them being
for sure.
very obsessed with, like, the cosmonauts and, like, going to space and, like even Dell's like, wow,
they had like hard shoots, hard shell spacesuits. Yeah,
like what were they doing? Like they were
like this
way
is advanced
ahead of us.
shit. Yeah, like we
Like,
had never even known.
The COG were spit.
Don't worry.
The COG were not like going
Focusing on
this
that type
hard
of- yeah.
into space travel.
No.
And it's like it's new to them, and like these facilities are fucking huge.
Yeah.
And but also Vaskar was like not part of the UIR, but like in the middle between the COG and the UIR, so they were
They were on the border, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then basically Foz was saying like they just kind of rolled in. We're like, oh, thanks for this, because like the Vasgari were the ones that were really the most advanced, right?
Yeah.
Because they were the ones that
They had a lot of like he was saying like
they made the
base-
microchip and they made
Yeah.
like all this stuff, and then he's like, while our neighbors were creating bombs or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Again, backstory that I'm just like, this is awesome.
Yeah, again, it's not like, oh, like, let me talk about events from Gears 2 and 3. They're just, like, expanding upon the world that was already
They're giving
there.
me some lore.
But
that
they're
I
not
care about.
exactly like, you need to understand this. So it's like, it's like, okay, like, this is, like, now that Sarah is actually becoming, like, civilized again, we need to talk about the other, like, civilizations, the countries, the territories that were a thing before
the Emergence Day.
Emergence Day, yeah, which is something that isn't touched on in other games. And like
Barely.
The first time the UIR is really talked about is Judgment, because Paddock is from the UIR.
Yeah.
And like they talk about like, oh, the Pendulum Wars, but they're not like, oh yeah, we fought the UIR. Like they never just flat out say that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, and like
it's cool
and
stuff.
The Pendulum Wars being a resource war, and it's like it wasn't just with the UIR. Like other countries were involved, but like the COG and the UIR were the last two like
that were really duking it out. Yeah,
within that war.
Yeah, one thing I do want to talk about. How'd you feel about the like skiff and stuff like that, like the actual getting around?
Just when it glitched out and I had to restart.
So what? Yeah, I didn't have an issue with that.
So
we'll get.
thing
I guess we're
about
in the glitch.
this campaign and I guess the launch of Gears 5 was the bugs and the server outages were really annoying.
Yeah.
One bug that I ran into in Act 2 was I parked my skiff at a weird angle. So say we're on a hill and I'm on the skiff. And the skiff kind of goes up the hill and it's on the top and it's floating. I got off of it. I can't get back in the seat because I can't reach it.
Yeah.
And like I tried like shooting it and like seeing if I could like roll into it and like
yeah, I didn't have.
So I had to like reload a previous chapter and it put me like 30 minutes back, 10 minutes in like game time, and I was like, all right, at least I don't have to restart. You ran into the exact opposite.
Yeah, so I got done. I guess chapter 3 it would have been of Act 2, and you have to get this rocket to this facility, and then after doing that, you need to go get some targeting beacons from this other cosmonaut facility. I already did that earlier in the chapter just because I happened upon it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to send you there later." Then you go in and do it.
That's how I did it too.
And then I went in and got that, and then I got out right after the rocket got in, and just no objective would come up. I don't know what it was. I don't know what was going on. Something up my hair. You looking?
No.
I don't know what was going on. I tried reloading the checkpoint. I tried reloading the previous checkpoint, and I just had no marker. I tried going back to the. I didn't know exactly where I was supposed to go, so maybe I should have looked up where the next objective was supposed to be and see if I could just force.
Yeah.
But hindsight's 20/20, so I basically had to just restart chapter 2. No, I had to start at 2. Okay, because it didn't say I had finished chapter 3.
Right.
So I had to go back to 2,
which
was annoying because not even necessarily that I had to do all the stuff, all the extra stuff was undone. So, like, the water... But it was weird, because I still had my upgrades from doing those missions. Like, the one with Jack where you'd stay invisible no matter what. From doing that, I still had that, but I still had those objectives to go and help the water treatment places. And I'm like, I'm not fucking doing that again. I already did it all. So I got back. I mean, all in all, it probably took me about a day to get back to where I was. I probably would have finished 2 days ago rather than this morning if I didn't have that happen. But yeah, I mean,
and then I had a ton of glitches with collectibles not saving, and I had to go back and like my co-op progression for chapter 1 and 2 when we played with Casey is not there.
What?
It says I didn't finish chapter 1 and 2 on co-op because of the glitch.
God, that's fucked. Mine say that like I think I'm up to insanity. Yeah, basically to where we were.
Oh, I played on insane, by the way.
Oh yeah, I played on hardcore, whatever the hardcore
Solo
intermediate.
insane is not that bad.
Yeah, no, I really
solo insane co-op is pretty fucking hard.
I'm thinking about like slowly maybe going through it again on insane, just single player. But the only reason I didn't do it this time, I think, is because the Gears 4, I literally got to a spot and couldn't beat it, and was like, I'm done. But that was, I think, really because of the base building shit that they ended up taking out.
No
this
base
game.
building in Gears 5.
Thank God. I really, you know what I
Those
noticed?
segments sucked.
Yeah, they were awful. You know what I noticed? Not a lot of emergence holes. I noticed it near the end of the game. I don't know what. There was like one or two at the beginning, and then in the last chapter there was a few. But there really wasn't much besides that. Another thing I got to say this game does very well is the enemy types, and I feel like it's something Gears have always done well. Of like, there are parts that are hard that you're gonna have to redo a few times if you really want. Like, but you need to know who to take out first. So there's a part near in Act 4. It's not spoilery, but you're just getting kind of overrun. It's when you're protecting the back of the truck. And there's snipers coming out. There's hunters coming out with torque bows and all that. And you just got to know, like, all right, I need to take out the sniper first, so that way he's not on me the whole time that I'm taking out these juvies. I like the poppers. Were they in the 4?
No, but like the tickers.
Oh yeah, I guess there were still
Gears 2 and 3 were pretty much the poppers.
Okay,
which
but
is
like
interesting. They brought back an enemy type.
Yeah,
that I really had.
But no, I really think Gears does enemy types very well and makes you kind of manage the fight in a very interesting way, and I really appreciate that a lot. Yeah. But Act 3. Want to say anything else? I don't think we're missing anything. There's not really a ton of gigantic.
We never knew that the UIR spoke another language.
Oh, we didn't
until this game. Yeah.
Very
speaking like another language. You're like,
that's very Russian-esque.
Like they never once even hinted that the UIR spoke a different language. Obviously, Paddock was speaking Terran or English.
Yeah.
Like when we play, but like they never once were like, oh yeah, like I'm like learning your language is like whatever. Like they never talked about that. So
that was an interesting layer. Yeah, for sure.
What'd you think about the just going to do a mechanic, the relic weapons? Did you find
I found one. I didn't realize.
I found a shit ton of them, but not a pistol, because you need to carry 3 at a time to get an achievement and actually get a kill with all of them. So I'll have to go back and.
You couldn't keep getting ammo for them, right? Like, or could you keep picking up?
Yeah, from crates.
Oh, you could.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't have dropped that relic.
I found the relic sniper. Is fucking OP. The sniper
because you get 2 shots out of it, right?
Yeah,
if you active reload.
Yeah. It's like this is a joke.
One thing, oh god, I love, and I was saying this during the 4th one. You get fucking sniper ammo out of the boxes. I was like, why aren't I getting any ammo from this? It's a COG weapon. What the fuck? I like that they introduced. I think they introduced it in this one. Was the bomb or the explosive ammo box?
Yes.
Was that new? Yeah. I thought that was a very welcome.
Yeah. Again, another
addition.
Quality of life change.
For sure. Trying to think.
Do you want to talk before we move to Act 4? Do you want to talk about Jack?
Yeah.
Something they totally didn't need to have this game. It's not. You don't. So.
And those bots have existed since 1, right? Yeah.
Jack is just another.
Another iteration.
Jack.
Yeah.
But Dave, rip.
I was gonna say, is it Dave? Yeah, I was like, what's
the first act? Yeah. So like throughout the game, you find components, and pretty much you can upgrade Jack's abilities, which are stealth, barriers, stun, the shock trap, and like you can upgrade all this stuff, and like there's a progression system when they really didn't need to have a progression system.
No, they didn't.
Jack could have just fucking been there.
He could have been,
but like you can play him in co-op.
Yeah,
like it's either between Kate, Dell, or JD and Dell and Jack.
Yeah. And
the third person plays as Jack, and I'm like, they did not need to do that in the slightest.
No, Jack adds in a whole nother layer, and I keep saying this, to the game that I think is really well put together.
And if it wasn't there, we wouldn't have noticed.
No, but and I think Jack really can kind of turn the tide of a fight, like
he
in
can.
certain ways.
Yeah,
like
he can.
Like the fucking shock traps have become invaluable for like especially juvies and
Once
stuff
you
like
get
that.
freeze on stun,
I missed that, which
you do
pissed
it
me
with
off.
wardens, you freeze them and just headshot them and like you kill them.
That's the one I didn't use a ton, but I think if I got the freeze thing for it, I would have been using it way more.
Yeah.
I got 2 out of 3 of those things. I must have missed the third one.
I missed
somehow.
the last one, which is Ricochet on Barrier, which is in Act 4.
Okay.
Which I
How do you get that?
I don't know.
Interesting.
The majority of the components are in 2 and 3.
Yeah. A lot. There's like a lot. There's like 100.
There's way more than you actually need. I think
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was like, because I didn't find a ton of them, to be honest, but I still, my Jack was where I wanted him to be, like, for sure.
Pretty pimped out.
For sure. And even, like, I mostly upgraded the, like, more offensive things, or, like, actually active. Like, you can upgrade his, like, shock thing that makes it more, his, like, stealth stuff, which I think is very helpful when you're playing as him, I feel like. But when you're just kind of directing him around, you don't really need to upgrade his stealth thing to keep him in stealth.
There were a few parts, like when you go into the place with the rocket in Act 3, when you go in and you have to go up to the turret and then like make a left.
Yeah.
I stealthed past those guys and I fought like at the turret. Like that's where I started the fight because like it was like this is way too hard.
Yeah.
Like the turrets really fuck you up on insane.
Another thing about this game, it's so satisfying when you shoot something. Like, I don't know what it, like, you feel like you're... There was a Terminator game in the arcades that I really loved that I don't know what... Like, it's just
For a minute, I thought you were going to talk about, like, Terminator Salvation. Like,
I think it was a Terminator Salvation, like,
arcade
but, like,
game. You know the game on Xbox? That,
yeah.
Like, apparently had, like... I remember it had, like, 7 achievements and it was really easy to get 100% on, but, like, the game was, like, terrible.
Yeah. But, like, there's just something satisfying about the bullets hitting things in this game. I don't know how to describe it any better than that, but god damn it, it feels so great. And that's all I have to say.
So, Act 4.
The fall. Shit hits the fan. For sure. Like,
yeah.
So, you're back in New Ephira, right?
Yes.
And basically...
Actually, no. You're in the ruins of Ephira.
Okay.
You are in New Ephira, but you're outside of it.
Yeah, okay.
The ruins, yeah.
All right.
Of old
and
Ephira.
Basically... of old Ephira. The swarm attack, right? I mean, and yet the whole idea is you're trying to place down these targeting beacons so that the Hammer of Dawn can actually work.
Actually, like, one thing we haven't talked about, I love that they brought the Hammer of Dawn back.
Yeah, that wasn't in the first one at all, or fourth one at all, right?
We didn't talk about it at all. Well, I assume that...
Aside from them,
it makes
in
sense
the beginning.
that the satellites... Well, I guess when they launched the thing at the end of Gears 3, that takes them out.
Yeah,
some of the satellites. They get knocked off.
It was like an EMP type of thing, almost. Yeah, effect. That is interesting. And I loved Baird as Control. This is just a little side thing. Like, I loved hearing him in your fucking ear the whole time.
Yeah. And Foz, and then Clay on the field. Love seeing Clay back, thank God. And Lindsay, the new Carmine, who dies in the first act.
Which sucked. Yeah, that was...
we got
it's insane. Yeah, exactly. No, it's true.
I was like, all right.
I don't mean it's... I was like, oh, man. Damn.
Yeah, Carmine died in this game.
Yeah. No, Carmine, it was cool seeing him. But this whole act, I think, definitely kind of picks up. There's only 2 chapters in it, quick. Right? Yeah, so it's pretty quick. You're just kind of fighting through New Ephira, trying to get these beacons down to use the Hammer of Dawn. And then the fucking Kraken shows up. What did you think about the Kraken throughout it? Like,
the fight?
Yeah.
It was pretty hard.
I bet on Insane.
Was tough.
Dude,
you had to be, like, pinpoint. And if you got grabbed twice, the second time you were dead.
So, my issue was just, like, the guys kept getting grabbed. And I was just kind of hanging back towards the Gauss cannon. Like, just shooting them as they'd come out. I was like, oh, this is getting really annoying. But they cut it off at the exact right moment. Yeah. Like, I really do think
I was like, this is going to be a long
like, if I got
fight.
I could imagine even on Insane. Yes. Yeah. Literally. I was like, I did the second one. We got 2 more to go. But then, they kind of ended in a very welcoming way. And I think they did that a few times. Even there's a part in Act 2 where you're in the cosmonaut facility and the thing's going around. And, like, at the end... was it Act? Yeah, sorry. Yeah. And... a Snatcher walks in, and you're like, fuck. I gotta fucking fight this Snatcher. But then the thing just launches off and kills it. And you're like, oh, no, it's over. Thank God. Yeah. But I'm trying to think of, like, specific things I'd want to talk about before. I mean, obviously the end.
No, but, like, the choice between JD or
Dad. Fuck. God, how could I even...
Did you forget?
Yeah, I did a little bit. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, we see Reyna as the queen, and then we get to choose to save either Del or JD, and I saved JD. I thought about it for 2 seconds, and I just chose instinctually.
Yeah, no, mine was...
And I was like, oh, man. I was like,
I
wish I didn't have to make that decision.
No, dude,
I kind of wish they just
one.
killed JD. I'm like, that would have
Yeah. No, I was sitting there.
Choose.
I was sitting there, I was like, alright, I'm putting myself in Kate's shoe here. Who would she probably save? I went with Del because of the idea of him going to help her kind of figure out the things in the second act, and they kind of have had this relationship, and I kind of thought it might be a little more interesting to see JD go, and then that whole thing with Marcus. Right. And also, I kind of thought you would do JD, and I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a difference there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that scene where he...
So what does Marcus fucking say?
He's very silent. He's like, where's JD? And then Del walks away.
Freak out?
And then, no, I mean, she hands her his cog tags, or she hands him his cog tags, and he's like, God damn it, JD. And like, he's just sitting there, and then, Kate tries to put her arm on his shoulder, and he just shrugs off.
Marcus kind of does that
and
with
he
JD.
just gets very...
JD, like, breaks. Like, Del dying, like, JD is, like, losing it. Like, he doesn't know what to fucking do.
No, Del is sitting there, like, he's like, what the fuck? We gotta find her. And then Kate's like, Del, you gotta get in the right mindset. Yeah, you dying.
Exactly what she says to JD. Like, tries to calm him down, but JD's, like, fucking losing. Even in Marcus. But, like, what I like, the fact that JD is alive, like, Marcus has been through this exact situation.
Yeah.
Except it's a little different.
Yeah, obviously. And I don't... Like, seeing Marcus, like, he's lost... What's her name? I feel stupid. Anya. He's now JD is gone. It was an interesting fold for like it really was. Like it was an interesting wrinkle in the story of like.
That's why I wish they would have just made that choice for me.
Yeah, you're just like
JD.
Yeah. I think they do a good job, like I said before, breaking down JD's character and then building him back up by the end.
One thing that it didn't mention about him, like going back to like, oh, now he's the poster boy. Also, his relationship with Baird, like Baird won't even talk to him.
Well, yeah, even at the beginning, anyways.
Yeah, like it's really weird how awkward he is around him because he almost fucking kills him, and let alone kills all those other people. He's the one who pressed the button.
Well, even like they're talking. They're like, Baird, you can't blame yourself. He's like, listen, it was my choice. Like I know, and I think it was even more that he was mad at himself for letting JD convince him that it was fine, rather than actually mad at JD.
JD's appearance, like the scar, the beard, no
hair, the arm like, thing. Yeah,
he's so fucked up.
No, he is,
but like not emotionally. And not mentally. He's definitely still the same character. Worked.
Yeah,
but like he's physically scarred by this.
I did like by the end, like Baird. He goes up to Baird and he's like, listen, Baird, he's like, listen, kid, it's not you. I gotta deal with this. I realize what happened.
Like, he feels guilty.
He feels guilty. He doesn't necessarily blame JD. He more is annoyed at him or mad at himself for letting him do that. Yeah.
One other thing. I like, so going back to like JD's position, like honestly, like I think like that was the only thing he could do. Also, like the legacy of like who he is like also something like what do people expect like the son of Marcus Phoenix and Anya Stroud to do? Be? Like he's a fucking gear to like
because Marcus is like he is the hero of the Locust War, right? I mean basically Delta Squad anyways too. Yeah. But no, yeah, it's very interesting.
Like he's important. So like forget Gears 4. Yeah. Like, he doesn't really, like, I don't think he, like, knows who he is, but, like, also, like, he falls in this position where he probably feels guilty, like, but, like, he's also, like, being put on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Already, like, upon the one he's already on.
Yeah.
Being the
I mean, he's a
like,
very important war. I mean, Anya was the first minister, right? Or the first minister.
Yeah, and not only that, and it's just, like, yeah, I could understand why JD probably did what he did. Like, I don't think he was doing it to be like a dick.
No, he was doing it to save people.
But like he happened to be now at odds with his friends.
Yeah, and even that whole reveal of him with like giving the order apparently during that one siege to fire on the people.
Yeah,
and, like,
again another scene that's like pulling the characters apart.
And I did love the scene of like Kate going like, wait, why are we mad at JD but you're not mad at me? And he's like, well, it's because you actually told us your secret. And I was like, it's good. They're not stupid reasons for hating each other. This makes, or not even hating, being annoyed with each other. Yeah.
And then the other thing I want to talk about, I guess before we talk about the ending and wrap up, Jin and Marcus's like revelation. Like Jin's pregnant, and she's talking about, I guess, how the fertility program was really something they were pushing, obviously because they need to repopulate.
Sure.
But like the fact that like she reveals that Anya was a part of that program,
Yeah.
and like.
So what, did JD come out of that? Like, what is...
Like, is JD not Marcus's son, or did Marcus, like, get forced into having a child with Anya because of that program?
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting. I'm just
There's
like...
some threads you can pull on there.
Yeah, I'm like,
For sure.
what the fuck? I was like, what? I'm like, when they said that, I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I was like you think, like, oh, like, Anya and Marcus were just in love. Like,
Yeah.
So they had JD, and I'm like, maybe that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Maybe they were literally forced into...
Or even, like, not... I don't even know necessarily forced, but...
Part of... Yeah.
They're doing
forced.
it out of necessity rather than really wanting a kid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So I guess with me, like, Gear 6, but like I'm interested to see, you know, I mean the game ends, Kate's not done. We gotta go find Reyna and kill Reyna and end the Swarm War.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where it ends.
Yeah.
It's on not a cliffhanger, but like
a let's go fuck it, let's get these fuckers.
Gear 6.
Yeah.
It's on the
We're on the offensive this time rather than the
Yeah.
defensive. And no, I think I don't want. The ending was a little bit of a like, all right, after we've gotten all these gigantic revelations, which is kind of hard to come up against.
Right.
But
I think they left it in a fine way. It's not like they
agree.
tried to like end it like, oh.
No, like watch out. Yeah, no, I agree.
That's what
I think it was a
Gears 4
definitely.
ends, just like, whoa.
It was
what?
a good period, but there's still more to be told.
Yeah,
for
clearly
sure.
there's going to be a Gear 6. And my question is, like, what's going to be, like, are they going to make, like, you pick who you killed at the beginning of Gear 6?
I mean, I assume you have to load that in. Or, yeah, you either choose who you chose or you load that in somehow.
How does that play into it?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah,
again,
so it'll... Diverging
we
paths.
would not have talked about this game this long if we didn't fucking love it. 'Cause
I agree.
loved Gears 5.
No, I think it was fantastic. It was a reinvigoration in the franchise that I think it needed.
Right.
Especially, like I said, after playing Gears 4 however many weeks ago, and I was like, this was really just Like, and this was not. This was whoa. And I really fucking enjoyed my time with it.
Real quick, because it's, like, it may not be obvious, but, like, Gears 5 is literally called Gears 5, not Gears of War 5.
Yeah.
What do you think of the title change?
I think it's a little bit of a... I don't know. Didn't necessarily think about it one way or another. But I guess it's kind of supposed to represent that shift that they really did take in this game. Like, this is different. This is new.
That's kind of what I think, too.
I think it works. Yeah. No, I mean...
it's a little
Gears
meta.
of War. Yeah, I think it is.
But, like, I think it works.
I do. I agree. Yeah, Gears of War 5, Gears 5, because we'd all just be calling it Gears 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we say Gears 4. Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's really...
Fucking play this game.
Play it.
It's the best game on the Xbox.
Well, and it was funny, and hey...
It's the best Xbox exclusive, and I'll probably go to the end of the generation thinking that.
Listen, if you have... I will say I don't think that's the toughest title to hold. But
No,
still.
it's not. But
But I still don't think that
a
diminishes
game
that
has
at
to
all.
hold the title.
Yeah, I just lost what I was going to say. Anywho, it's a fucking great game. I really did. That's it. If you get Game Pass, there's free fucking, like $2 for 2 months right now. If you want to just get it and play fucking Gears.
The entire series is on
Literally
Game
the
Pass,
entire series is on there.
including Gears 5. Like, they're just asking you to buy a Game Pass.
Yeah.
Another reason that Game Pass is fucking great.
No, it is. I mean, God, I can't...
Even though I don't use it.
Yeah,
It's great.
for sure. But anything else, Gooch?
No, that's it.
Awesome. Well, that does it for us here today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching us live on twitch.tv/DelcoNerdNetwork. If you've been with us, we very much appreciate it. You can find this on YouTube. You can find us on most podcast services. Just search Delco Nerd Network. We're right up on there. While you're at it, if you can drop us a review, that's very helpful. Kind of pushes us up on the charts and all that. It makes us look good. Also, we are at Delco Nerds on all of our social medias. You can check us out on there. All this info can be found on our website, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. For Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.